Hello everybody, it's Emil from Mindful Movement Coaching. Today's video, I'm going to be presenting on the Get Up. And the version of the Get Up, what we're going to do today, is something that we should all be exploring and integrating into our health practice. So, aging well is the new focus for Mindful Movement Coaching. And so what I want to present on is a process to learn how to get up off the floor into a standing position well. This exercise comes from kettlebell training. It's called the Get Up. But we're not going to be using a kettlebell, and we're not going to be using weight for that matter. We're just going to be focusing on our body weight. The reason I like this exercise is because it brings attention to the functionality or the synergistic relationship between our hips and our shoulders. So as babies acquire movement, your shoulders are typically your first weight-bearing joint. After that, the hips are integrated, and we'll see that with creeping and crawling. As we age, we don't get back down on the ground anymore to play. So this is a great way for us to explore what we can work on or how we can go back and revisit some of those neurodevelopmental patterns of movement, i.e. getting our hips and shoulders to work together. I think this is a great drill. I hope you'll stick with me through this video. It'll be a little lengthy, but I'll walk you through on how to do this. And then I encourage you to stick to the end of the video. I'm going to give you a little bit of a brief personal story of an occurrence that happened to me last year in France at a kettlebell course. I'll save that for the end. Okay, so another point that I want to drive home to is they've drawn a correlation to life expectancy and the ability to get up off of the floor without using your hands. That's a pretty advanced move, and what I find with most of my clients right now, that isn't a reality. But what is a reality is being able to go through the get up in a manner that does make use of your hips, your arms, your legs, and your shoulders in a manner that you can potentially evolve to getting up off the floor without having to use your hands. Okay? So what I'll do is I'm going to stop talking and I'm just going to start presenting on this video. Or exercise, excuse me. The exercise starts in a fetal position. So you're going to lay on your side. And when we say fetal position, with your knees bent, hips bent, so you have a little bit hip flexion and knee flexion here, and I'm stacked on my side. This is what it's going to look like. Now I'm going to demonstrate the video starting in the other direction, but I just wanted to see how you're set up here. So I'm going to start in the fetal position on my side, and I'm just going to roll to my back, and I'm going to set my feet up so they're flat on the floor with my knees bent. And I want to bring awareness to the contact of my entire body that is in contact with the floor. So I'm bringing attention to just the contact, a little bit of a body scan, right? I want you to take a breath. And now we're going to set up for the next move. So I'm going to take one leg, in this case this is my left leg, and I'm going to go ahead and straighten it out. And the other thigh is going to stay in a fixed position here or with the knee bent. I have a bit of an angle here, so I'm going to say 35 to 40 degrees of an opening in my hips we call abduction. I want to take now the same side, in this case my left leg and my left arm, and place that arm so that it is straight and mirroring or matching somewhat that angle that I have on my left leg. Now, right away, I'm going to bring attention to you can modify based on what works for you. So this is an investigative drill or exercise for you. So for some people, it might work well with the arm placed here. Other people, it might work well here. But either way, you want to have somewhat of an angle that matches or mirrors the thigh that's out. Now, your next move, and please pay attention to this. I think this is one of the most crucial moves or components to the next move is neck rotation. So we want to facilitate a rolling pattern, and that's going to help get us into the next move.
So I'm going to roll towards or turn my head towards the arm that I want to roll up on. I'm going to roll up on my elbow. And what I might even do is with my opposing hand, use a reaching concept. I'm going to reach across the room as I roll my neck. And that nicely gets me up onto my elbow. Mistakes that are often made are people try to crunch up and it's a struggle to get up on the elbow. When babies learn and acquire movement, they are performing rolling. Well, we're going to go back and we're going to experience those rolling patterns we did when we were younger. So I'm going to reach across the room, roll my head, and come up onto my elbow. I'll relax this arm now. And now the next move is I want to post high. It's called a high post. I'm going to just push my hand into the floor, and I'm going to turn my fingers away. Now, modifications here. This isn't a kettlebell practice drill. So what we'll do is I'm going to have you take liberty to readjust each position so that you're comfortable, so that works for you as an individual. Now my next move, again, key component here. I want you to bring attention to the contact with your foot and the floor and the contact with the hand on the floor here. Simultaneously, I want you to sort of push with this leg, so you're pushing yourself back so that you can post up onto your shoulder here. Now, if you can hold here for a moment and identify this is a great way to assess your hip, your ability to open up your hips through your hip flexors. But not everybody's going to have the strength to sit there for a while, so don't feel that you need to do that. Your next move, so you're going to post, you're going to push, post, and get this knee up underneath you. And then stay here for a moment and just get comfortable. Now, I'm going to even reposition again. I'm going to take this leg and I might reposition it so now I don't have to have so much pressure on my shoulder here. I'm going to bring myself into an upright position. And the way I like to have you get into the next move is to take your knee here, this thigh, and I'm going to rotate it so now I'm set up into a lunge position right here. I'm going to take my back foot and I want to get my toes underneath me. Now here again, I want to sort of push a little bit back with my lead leg and push a little forward with my back leg. Together, it's going to create a scissor effect, which will help me come up into standing. And then step forward. And then you're going to do it in reverse. So now I will take a step back. I'm going to lunge down. I'm going to take this leg, I'm going to open my hip. Key move right here, and I'm going to change angles so you can see. If you can, I would encourage you to avoid just coming down this way. We want to capitalize on a movement called a hinge. So if I think about taking my hands and I'm going to chop my hips back. And what this does now is it gets me comfortable. You're in a position, I've taken my center of gravity and I'm putting it back. So now I don't have to reach out far and kind of rely on my shoulder to catch me. So I'm going to hinge, reach to the floor, and then I can come back and now I'm going to get some weight through that shoulder. The other thing you can do too is think about this shoulder. Try not to give yourself stability this way. You've closed down and now we want this shoulder to support our other shoulder. So squeeze the shoulder blades a bit, get stacked, give yourself some stability here. And now I'm going to take the other leg, I'm going to kick it through. And I'm going to sit down. And then I'm going to just in reverse, I'm going to come back to my elbow. And then what I want to here is reverse my roll. What helps is think about gripping the floor and then roll back as you grab the floor back into the position. That's your get up. So I just took you through from step to step. Now, again, it's an investigative exercise, quite frankly. So take the liberty to make some subtle adjustments so that you can accomplish that exercise, hopefully on both sides. If you can only do it on one side, that's fine. You may even find on the other side you can only get up to a certain level, and that's okay too. But give yourself an opportunity to explore this exercise because the benefits from performing this exercise will pay dividends for you down the road. Now, I'm going to present on some additional key points that may help you with the performance of the exercise. So again, I want to remind you of rolling. And so when we talk about rolling, we want to be able to roll one segment of our body at a time. And so we talk about an axis of rotation here. So the axis of rotation is occurring here, and I'm driving that motion through my neck. Okay? Now, not everybody might have neck mobility to do that, but it's a consideration. Give that a shot. And the reason I explain that is because when you're doing the get up here, your axis of rotation is now a diagonal axis of rotation. So I have my left heel out here, my left thigh, and it crosses the body into this shoulder. So now we can start to think about some neurological integration of right hemisphere, left hemisphere as we're moving through these rolling patterns. Again, I'm going to cite neurodevelopmental patterns of movement that we did as children. So again, reminder, neck rotation, and you can use your opposing hand to reach across the floor. In kettlebell training, you're holding a kettlebell up overhead the whole time, so you don't reach across. You really are reliant, in my opinion, on getting good rotation by utilizing your neck. Okay? Now, another pointer that you could try is, it's a bit of an imaginary one, but I want you to think about utilizing your arms to help you come up out of your lunge position. And so what I'm speaking to here is you've gotten to this point and you're ready to come into standing. I want you to think about reaching for a pull-up bar. You could do it in a pronated grip, or you could do it in a supinated grip or neutral grip. Whatever works for you, doesn't really matter. But what I want you to do is think about grabbing something that's going to assist you and pull yourself up into that standing position. And then when it's time to come back down, start right from here. You're holding onto those handles, and then think about lowering yourself down with your arms, and that will help take some of the pressure off of, or I should say the demand off of your lower body. And you can come back and you'll return. Now, what I like to do is have you open up this way. Remember, you're going to chop the hip, come to the floor, get over the shoulder, reach out, find your elbow, and roll back down. And leave it at that. So I hope you'll take to heart this exercise that I just presented on. It's a great morning routine. And again, you can make modifications. If you'd like to reach out and set up a session, I offer online sessions, and we can, take some time to see what we can do to help you profit and benefit from the performance of this exercise. All right, thank you for your time, you guys, and have a good day.